What does flow mean to you? Flow is a state of mind, a state in which a person becomes fully immersed in an effortless and continuous progression. To me, the ultimate goal in Jiu Jitsu is finding that perfect roll with perfect and effortless flow. I'm Professor Hayden Martz, and this is the Flow BJJ podcast. Hello and welcome to the Flow BJJ podcast. Today I have a special guest with us, Sam Micale. He is about to teach a seminar, so we tried to grab him for the podcast before we started. How you doing, man?
Oh, not too bad. Glad to be here. Happy to
have you, man. So we have spent the last 2 or 3 days training, just hanging out. It's been great.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about Emerald City, talked about your new academy. Let's back up a little bit and just a quick rundown. What got you going in high-level jiu-jitsu competitions and where you're at now?
I started training in 2013 and didn't really do any jiu-jitsu, to be honest with you. I would hop in the occasional class here and there, but had very little jiu-jitsu. I just wanted to fight MMA and thought that and was told that I didn't really need jiu-jitsu for MMA. You know, just some wrestling, good wrestling and some jiu-jitsu, like submission defense, you know. And because I was a striker predominantly and had a little bit of wrestling experience. But I was under one of the best wrestling coaches on earth, so easy to become a wrestler when you have a resource like that. So I, 3, 4 fights in, 4 fights in, I was faced with the harsh reality that you can't be successful in MMA without jiu-jitsu, I had no jiu-jitsu at all. I mean, it was really bad. But I decided I took, so there's a mixture of things. There's some drama, blah, blah, blah. I ended up having to leave the gym I was with. There's really nowhere else around for me to train. I didn't really know what I was doing anyways. I didn't know if I wanted to even do it anymore. I had just, like I said, done really MMA, a lot of striking, and very, very little jiu-jitsu. I competed in a white belt tournament once, and very small tournament, local tournament, a couple of them actually, and won them. And I was like, okay, jiu-jitsu is cool. Maybe I should start focusing just on jiu-jitsu. So I was away from the gym for a little while. I found a place to train for it was about a year, actually. I was away from the gym. I didn't step foot in a gym at all. And then found a place to train. Was like, okay, I think I'm just going to do solely jiu-jitsu. And I'll do like a little bit of stand-up here and there. I still ended up doing a couple kickboxing fights and stuff, even barely training stand-up. But I came back to the scene, came back to jiu-jitsu and stuff, and fell in love with the sport. Almost immediately. I found like EBI, some of the other and finishers, watching the finishers tournaments. They were free on Facebook and like YouTube and stuff at the time.
Yeah.
I just got like obsessive over like the submission only game. I thought leg locks were the coolest thing in the world. The sub only guys like Gary Tonin and smoking everybody at EBI rather, and Gordon and all them just killing it on the sub only scene. And Gary was renowned, very well known. At that point, I had seen the Kron and Gary match. That was like one of the first matches I really watched.
One of the greatest matches ever.
Of all time, right?
Yeah.
I watched him. Somebody was showing me like DVDs with like Jeff Glover DVDs and stuff. And I found like the Meow Brothers. And I started like going nuts, going crazy about jiu-jitsu and got sucked right in. I wanted to know everything from like the 10th Planet stuff to all the Henzo stuff and everything. And I ended up putting on a little sub-only tournament that was at the end of a local tournament that we had called the Global Grappling League. It was an open tournament, regular open tournament. And I was like, I talked to the owner, and was like, I want to do a pro card. And he's like, oh, well, you don't have a budget. So, if you want to do it with $0, you're welcome to throw on a card after the event. So I was like, you know what, whatever. I took just a few $100s of my own money. All the mats were there, everything I needed. I had a good friend film it. He had a really nice camera, so he filmed it so he could put it on YouTube, the matches and stuff. And we did it. It was Nicky Ryan's first tournament ever, actually. First pro tournament ever, actually. And Nikki beat Junior Casio in overtime by ride time in the finals.
How old was he at that point?
Oh, God, he was probably 15 years old.
Nice.
It was crazy.
And Juni's solid, too.
Yeah, Junie was good back then, too.
Yeah.
Junie was, like, really good back then, too, though. But, yeah, we put on that tournament, and that night, Damien and Nikki and, like, the rest of the guys, Calistine, were like, hey, come down and train. Come down to Henzo's and check it out. I was like, you know what? I'll take you up on that. I ended up going right down, and what was supposed to be a day trip turned into, like, a 3-day trip. And I just ended up staying with the boys and stuff and bouncing around, training at Brunswick and Henzo's, riding in with them to the city and stuff. And I was like, oh, this is incredible. This is the atmosphere I need to be in. We talked about it last night at dinner. The first time I walked in that place, you know, I was sitting at the bottom of the stairs waiting to talk to the front desk person, and I watched GSP and Chris Weidman and Tom Deblass, right, and John Danaher, Henzo himself. Like, there's all these studs, dude, and there's a few other guys.
The who's
Jake
who.
Shields. Yeah. The who's who, right? They all walk down, just walk by, like it's nothing, saying what's up to everybody, and I'm just like jaw dropped. I had never met anybody like special in the scene at that point. But they walked by, I was like jaw dropped. I was like, oh wow, this is crazy. And that whole weekend, I really got an insight to what it took to be like a champion, how these people trained, and it's just so much different than anywhere I'm from. In Central New York, nobody trains like that. I don't think anybody really has a clue, you know.
Just the intensity or the
intensity,
game planning,
the detailed and the planning out of the training sessions. A couple of the gyms I've trained at, I really brought a lot of that stuff to it. The gym I was just training at and teaching at before I opened up this spot, I brought a lot of that stuff too. So they really adopted a lot of the things I was doing, all of them in their teaching styles and the way they're doing their classes and stuff. You know, I think everybody should be doing it like those guys, you know.
So what's different about their style off the top of your head and the way a class operates?
They do a lot of situationals, and they train hard. They train consistent. They keep each other they kept each other responsible for training and not training. It just created a different atmosphere. I mean, over time, the way things went, you know, and with a lot of other variables involved, it didn't end up being the greatest thing.
Right.
But as we found out, right? But who knows what it's going to turn into over time.
But it lasted for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, and who knows what it's going to turn into over time. It might have just given them the opportunity to do something better for themselves, you know, all of them. So, but anyways, I saw that, and I went back home, and I was like, man, like that's it right there. If you want to be a champion, that's what you got to do. You have to be with these. You got to be in an environment like this at least, you know. And that was the only environment I had seen. And I had made good friends with the guys, and they said, you know, come down whenever you want. You got a place to stay. You got a place to train. And so I was like, you know what? I worked full time, a lot of hours every week at a comic book shop, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna. I had this massive collection that I had been amassing over the years working at the comic book shop. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start. This is my passion. This is what I want to do. These are material things. I can always get them back. You know, I'm gonna start selling off piece by piece all of these things, these comics, these collectibles, and such, and pay for my my ability to just stay down there, take work off at certain times, you know, and stay down there and train as much as I can. So I did that a lot over a couple of years. Like, I was lucky enough to be around for like the ADCC, the 2017 training camp and stuff. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was really, really awesome. And I got to see that breakthrough in person, you know. I got to watch some of the guys go from being unknowns to being superstars, you know. It was back when Gordon was a lot smaller, you know. He's a lot smaller. Right? I watched him go from being a young kid, like a small young kid. I mean, he was always great. There's no doubt about that. And he was never really that small, let's be real.
So, I mean, he must have been, what, 16 when you met him?
Gordon?
Yeah.
Oh, no, he was older than that.
Oh.
He was older than that. I honestly couldn't tell you his age. He had just gotten together with Nat at the time.
Okay.
So, I trained, I would go stay with Damien or whoever on whoever's couch, you know, Mostly Damien though. And at one point I was like renting a room from Damien for a little bit, but I would ride it over to Gordon's. We'd hop in their car. The bronze bomber, I think he called it. Oh my God, this thing. And he would drive his ass off like a madman from his house, from like where him and Big Gord lived, all the way out to Newark. Every morning they did this, and all the way out to Newark, and we'd park the car there and we'd ride the train into the city, literally 2 blocks over from Henzo's. You walked right through this like easy parking place. There's entrances on both sides, so you just walk through and you cut the whole block out, and it's right out like out front of Grand Central Station. And Henzo's, you can see it all the way through.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I started training with them like as much as I could, as much as I possibly could. I got really close with some of the guys. Learned a lot from like Damien, Nikki in the early days especially. Even as a kid, he's just brilliant. Ethan was always an awesome resource for me. Jason Rao was always an awesome resource for me. And then Frankie Rosenthal. Me and him got really close. He's a very good friend of mine. These guys were always incredible resources to me, and I got exposed to how the best in the world train. So I come back. I'm not able to really afford to do that over time due to like personal stuff. Me and my ex split up and everything, blah, 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 And then I'm not able to go down there and focus as much on like traveling down there to train, but I put a lot of focus in implementing the stuff that I was learning down there into effect up here with whoever I could, right? And I made my way back to the gym that I originally trained at when I first started MMA, and was teaching out of there for a little bit, and due to extenuating circumstances, there's always something, right? I wasn't able to do like night classes, my ex trained there too, to be honest. So I wasn't able to do night classes, and so I was barely able to train there, and there was barely anybody ever there in the morning, and it was really just me teaching, even if I did get to come in and roll, But for the most part, I didn't really get like the training I needed in. So I knew I was going to have to do my own thing. I started, and then I put it out there after it was like, I really helped try to build something over where I was at. And it didn't work out the way I wanted it to. It didn't exactly work out as planned. So we'll just say. And so I was like, and no hard feelings to them. I was like, I need a place where I'm sick of trying to be a part of something. I found something with Tom after they made that decision. I made my decision, and I talked to Tom, and I ended up joining up with Tom and everything. I ended up getting close with Tom. I've done a bunch with him since then. He's been such an amazing mentor and like impact on me. I've learned so much from him in the year, just like a year and a half that I've been with him. A little over a year now, actually, that I've been with him, and decided I wanted to carry that flag up here. I really like how they do things. He was around at Henzo's a bunch when I was there, in the blue basement. So it was very comfortable, easy decision for me. Gary gave me a good reference to Tom. Me and Tom had known each other minimally before that, really. Mm-hmm. And it was easy because I knew. I mean, one, you watch what the guy does, what he's done, what he's built. It was a very easy decision for me to go with him, really. Yeah. But on a personal level, it was easy for me to make that decision because he was really close to the people I was close with, and they had so much respect for him. Yeah. So
there's a lot of loyalty there for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Yeah. And to the people that like really counted for me too, especially, it's held up to this day.
So you're making the trip down to Tom's fairly regularly. How long of a drive is that?
Oh man, for a while I was doing it really regularly. I actually haven't done it since November. I've been insanely busy with the gym opening, and I took on a new job, so now I'm on call, so I can't just leave it's a whole day. So it's about 5 hours down and 5 hours back, so it's a 10-hour day. Yeah. And sometimes longer than that. There have been days where it took 7.5 hours because of traffic and shit. Yeah. So if anybody has anything to say about me not being able to be there regularly like some of these guys on these hard training days, first of all, I have a an 11-year-old kid and a 13-year-old kid, right? Two ages you really need to make sure you're there like a lot too. Like,
yeah.
You got to be there. You can't, you know, they have to be. I mean, your kids should always be a priority, but it gets really important in an age group too, to where you're like really implementing the whole like micromanaging your child, right?
You can't just let them do whatever they want.
No. You have to really be there. So that, and I have work. I have the side job that I'm on call. I teach jiu-jitsu. I'm trying to open the gym. You know what I mean? And now the gym is open and it's under construction and like we're chugging along with it. But I haven't been there since November. And before that, I wasn't there for like a couple months too. In that year, I mean, because I had an injury. My neck was flared up really bad and I needed to just let it relax, right? But I've gotten some pretty amazing training down there, and I've been lucky enough to go down there and stay for a few days sometimes. Sometimes me and Andy will get a hotel or something, or I've gone down and stayed in like Cam's apartment and stuff, and Jaden's old room and stuff. And you know, I get amazing training while I'm down there. I always learn a bunch, and I take it back up here, and I try to do my best to keep it going up here. I got the DVDs and stuff, you know. I'm still keeping it going up here, but yeah, I don't get to make it down there as regularly as I used to, or even close to as much as I'd like to. But yes, it's a long trip, and in the winter, it's like damn near impossible too.
Yeah, no, the Northeast winters are not fun.
Yeah, no, and which
like, we experienced last night.
yeah. It was extra cold. In Syracuse, we're like the snowiest city too. Like Rochester, Buffalo, and Syracuse are always in the top 5 snowiest cities in the whole U.S. Some years we're number 1. That's a pretty large hump to get over too.
Yeah, trying
to leave or travel anywhere regularly at least makes things a lot more difficult. And now for me, it's part of my work. So as it snows, which it always does, once winter hits, as it snows, like I'm on call for the snowfall, right? So I'm working. Those are my hours. So it makes things extra difficult. I'd love to be there, you know, a couple days a week or at least once a week still, but it's very difficult, you know.
Yeah.
I did it every chance I could. You know, I know that I have done every chance I could, really, when it was feasible and it made sense and you know, I had the time to be able to make it happen.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
So what's the game plan? You've got a new academy that you're starting up. You know, when is that officially kind of rolling out, and what's your goals with that?
Excuse me. So February, I'd like to be open for classes. It's Emerald City Jiu Jitsu. I'm kind of going along the same brand as I did with Emerald City Invitational. I thought that was a smart move, you know.
Yep.
This brand that I'm building right now with it, it's in the infancy stages still, only being around for a year, but I'd like to think I'm making some waves with it, you know, and if it carries on into my gym, I'd hope in the school, like I hope that I can build it in the same way, you know, consistently be on the up from the beginning on, you know. My goal is to be open in February for room 1, right? There's 3 rooms actually. It's one very large mat space in one room. It's all jiu-jitsu. It's going to be really, really, really gorgeous, white on white everything, you know. That's like the jiu-jitsu room. We're going to have the kids' classes and the jiu-jitsu stuff. Second room will be a little bit more of a grittier vibe, where the kickboxing and the wrestling will be. I'm probably going to have wrestling mats down, a little bit of strength and conditioning stuff in there too. I'll have rings and like a rope, you know, whatever. Wrestling mats, obviously, from wall to wall. It's 20 by 40 space. So wrestling mats from wall to wall. There'll be a cage wall in there too, on the wall, so we can get our MMA work in, cage work in, and everything. And we'll be doing sparring over there, kickboxing, like I said. And then room 3 is just the lifting room. It's just lifting equipment. And I'm thinking about sectioning that off so it can be open 24 hours. Nice. I got some ideas with that as well, but we'll see what that turns into. All in time, you know. I'm doing one room 1 month at a time, essentially. So when one room is open, the next room will be under construction that following month, or hopefully less. But so I'll have a fully functional schedule by the end of March. And until then, I will be like on a limited schedule. Obviously, still all of the classes, every day, morning, noon, and night, hopefully as well. Pending our other instructors' adjustments to their schedule as well. Have to give time for that too. But yeah, I'm really excited. I think we'll do great. I have a lot of competitors and awesome people in the area that want to support already and want to be a part of it from the ground up. So
I was just going to say, it looks like from social media, you already got some really foundational people or members that are going to be a part of it. Yeah.
My good friend, Tomas Garcia, he is a sheriff in Oswego County up there, and a very respected police officer in the area. Very respected. He's PT certified. He's going to be DT certified. So we're going to be teaching a lot of police seminars out of the gym and police LEO classes. I'm going to have awesome. Free LEO or free training for all LEO, which is a big deal. I think it cuts around a lot of the BS people trying to, I don't know. But I think that it's a really good, and it's through all ranks too. I want them to keep training. I want them to know that they have a home, and it's not just to pull them in for a membership or anything like that. It's because I really do want I really do care about the mental health and the physical health of all of our law enforcement officers in the area.
That's awesome.
I have a lot of friends in law enforcement, so it definitely means a lot to me. So, and Tomas, obviously, him being a sheriff and having been a sheriff for a while now, he's a veteran in the military as well. He cares a lot about that too. So, he's kind of spearheading that with me. He's going to be another one of the instructors there. He's a brown belt. Will be a brown belt under Tom, but he's trained all over the place. From Cali out to here. So, and he's another guy that travels to train and compete and stuff. He's a finishers veteran. He's an Emerald City Invitational super fight winner. And he only takes tough matches. He's on the scene going against the toughest guys on the local scenes and the underground circuits and stuff, So it's I know I have somebody else that has competition experience. I have all the instructors in there will be regularly competing, and will have had good competition experience. He's got MMA fights too. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But yeah, he'll be teaching in there as well. And I have people that'll stop in. I'm talking to April Park. She's a multiple time world champion. Medusa Jiu Jitsu veteran, the new female only sub only promotion there. Mm-hmm. Eddie Bravo runs. She's a veteran. She had Brianna St. Marie in the first round of the last Medusa. It was an awesome match. But I'm going to try to get her in there teaching somewhat regularly, but she'll be in there to train her and her husband. They're both black belts, They'll be in there to train regularly. Got a couple MMA fighters in the area that are going to be training there regularly. And my good friend Kevin, from Rochester. He lives in Rochester now. He's like my brother. He's going to be coming out and coaching at the place as well. He's a Bellator veteran. He'll be nice. Teaching MMA and stuff. So he's the most knowledgeable striker, MMA wise in our area. We have a really, really, really awesome striking gym, kickboxing gym, karate kickboxing gym in the area. I might have, one of those guys come over and teach too sometimes. I have another guy who is an amateur kickboxer, but a caged kickboxing champion, a local caged kickboxing champion, and now MMA fighter, who will also be teaching MMA there. So yeah, everybody's competitive. I got a good group of people in there already, ready to kick off some good training, and I don't think I'm going to have too many problems getting members and stuff. Word of mouth travels fast, and
for sure,
people have known about me opening for almost a year now. So I don't know. I'm pretty excited. To see it flourish. I'm petrified, but I'm excited to see it flourish. I had a really big relief. We locked in a kids wrestling program from a local high school and middle school.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's going to be, so there's 35 plus kids that'll be those are memberships right off the bat.
That's awesome.
And with the other people coming, it's pretty much my rent and bills all paid right off the bat almost. So knowing that is obviously a huge stress relief, and it allows me to be able to really build in the beginning to pull everybody else in too. You know, I'm obviously not gonna be like I'm breaking even now. Cool, now I can
Right.
stop trying. But it's gonna be a lot of work, and I have a lot of fun with that too, like the marketing and stuff. Like I like that side of things too. I really enjoy doing that stuff. So I think we'll be good, man. I really do. Having Tom's help too, mentorship, and his following, and definitely doesn't hurt.
Yeah, his attention to detail with helping build a brand in the school.
Yep, it's great.
His willingness to give that back to his affiliates too.
Yeah,
and you know, help them grow basically is phenomenal.
Absolutely, I agree. Yeah, and that's what he does all the time, man. He's just a businessman all the time now. He's a dad and a businessman.
Yep.
It's like all of his time.
Yeah.
You know, so it's cool to have him in my corner as well. And like he's like, I was talking to him about doing DVDs, like a DVD and stuff. How I have this idea to eventually, like one day, do. He's like, do it. He's like, why would you wait? Like, do it now.
Absolutely.
He's like, why? Because I've had people at the last few seminars I've taught, like, hey, where can we get like some of your, I want to get some of your stuff online or whatever. I'm like, I have nothing to show them. I don't even really do technique videos online. I've shot videos and I've shot technique videos for other people's online stuff actually, but I've never done my own thing. And Tom having his in at BJJ Fanatics, obviously, I think it might be pretty easy to just go do it.
I completely agree. I think you absolutely should. I mean,
I'd like to think that people will buy it.
Yeah.
Even if I sell 10, I'll be stoked. You know what I mean?
Just to have your stuff out there, you know, even if it's
reference to what I teach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when I teach seminars, even because I don't ever plan. I want to teach one seminar a month forever. You know, I was just talking to Tom about that. And being in his affiliation, that's another thing that he, you know, it does. Like I joined his affiliation, me being a competitor. He pushes me as a competitor, obviously. I never had any problem pushing myself. You know, I've gotten seminars before, just fine. But now I have like all these Tom Deblass affiliates. Everybody, it's like a family. Everybody really wants to help each other out, and they're super supportive. And it's because of the example that Tom leads.
Right.
You know, everybody wants to help, and not only do I think that I think I'm worth it anyways, but the fact that I know that you know, they are doing it for more than just, you know, we want to have you for a technique seminar. You know what I mean? That's cool that's cool to know.
Yeah.
That's cool to know. It's cool to hear.
It's a supportive team for sure.
Yeah,
and
super
it's
supportive.
a big team. And I've never seen anything like it in the jiu-jitsu world, what he's built. It's really
He is
really
the
cool.
most unique character in the jiu-jitsu community by far. He's like it's so funny because he's only, what is he, 40 years old, 41 years old, something like that, right?
Yeah.
I know he's young, right around 40. But it's like he's like the old wise guy. Right. You know what I mean? That's
because he's been doing it forever, it seems like.
Yeah, and there's just nothing but transparency there too.
Right.
Like it's all just right there. Everybody sees it. He has no filter. It's just, guys, this is who I am. This is how I am. You know, he's not trying to fake anything.
No.
But that same genuine approach to how he does everything and how he puts himself out there is why people respect him the way they do.
I completely agree.
He's not trying to sell you anything.
I think that's a huge part of the reason for his success is, one, he's a solid businessman.
Yes, he is.
But
He is.
also he's real, and people see that. Yeah. Not just the success, but the suffering too.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest part.
Yeah.
You know,
people relate to that.
Yes,
you know?
absolutely. Yeah, his suffering, because he wears everything right on his sleeve like that. You know, because he doesn't care. He has his insecurities and his strengths. He knows them both, and he, you know, it's a good example too. I say mentorship in ways. It's not like I'm sitting down taking classes, but I watch him do things, and just as anybody's influenced by people that they look up to or appreciate in the way they do things, you know, I try myself to adopt a lot of those things as well. And I've seen changes in my life from certain different behaviors I have tried to, you know, change and work on, you know, and they're all beneficial. So the guy, I mean, he knows what he's doing. When he says, hey, you should do this way, hey, stop doing this way, or hey, you better be fucking doing this. Like,
Yeah.
You can be like, what the hell is this guy? You don't have to be like, what the hell does this guy know? Or try to talk yourself into listening to him. It's like, it's really easy to be like, hey, he knows because he's done this shit, and it's all right there. Like, it's all right in front of your face.
I've found too, in a lot of cases, because I feel like he has made our academy very successful but it's not a lot of big things. It's a lot of attention to detail on small things.
Of course. You have a lot of strengths in what you have
ways
going
to
on
operate.
Too,
it's just, seeing a lot of it's not what he's telling you to do. It's watching what he does and trying to emulate that.
Of course.
It's
because
really
he puts
cool.
everything he does out there too. So he does have that influence. You know what I mean? He has that. People look at him. They can look at everything he does for the most part, and say, okay, well, if you want to lead the life this guy leads, if you want to succeed in ways this guy has succeeded, you should probably watch what he's doing in the lead up, right?
Yep. Another thing is a lot of people who are successful, push everybody else down on their way up.
Yeah, rising tide raises all ships as long as you let it.
Yeah. And he's not that way.
Since day one with the Emerald City Invitational thing.
Yep.
I've been trying to team up with every promotion that I can. Like, I push and share all their events on the Emerald City page. Even like Medusa, it's the same day as my event. I put up like that he put it out, or that it was going to be that day. I was like, we'll be watching Medusa from our show. Like everybody have their phones out too. Because it's going to be a good event. I try. I think that it's good for everybody, and I think that as Flow and everybody else grows, it only expands everybody else's brand and reach as well. Too, so.
When I'm talking to my white and blue belts about the coverage that jiu-jitsu has now on Flow grappling compared to when I started jiu-jitsu, there was nothing.
Yeah, even when I started, which it was 2013, and I didn't really get deep into jiu-jitsu, into the scene until a couple of years later. Actually, I didn't get deep into the jiu-jitsu scene at all until a couple years later, to be honest with you.
The scene was hard to find unless you were physically there.
Yeah, EBI. That's all I had was like YouTube EBI. I didn't even know where else to look, to be honest with you. Flow had a lot of the footage, and Flow is so inaccessible, and people had mixed opinions on them at the time, and things were just done a lot differently. And they were still in the building process, Flow grappling, So I didn't have access to it in the same way, but as soon as I did, I was like, oh, this is cool. And now watching what it's turned into from like 2015 to now, what Flow has turned into, it's incredible. It's incredible. Now we know who's leaving what academies and for why. Like the stuff we don't even want to know.
Oh, it's like ESPN for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's pretty cool.
And speaking of which, that card right there, the January 21st card, Craig Jones and Pedro Marino.
It's going to be. That's going to be amazing.
Oh my God. I can't wait for that match in particular.
How do you think it's going to go?
I think that Craig Jones is going to heel Pedro. Yeah. But if he's not on his A game, well, it depends. Craig Jones seems so wishy-washy. He's like, some days he's a total stud, and the other days he doesn't seem like he even really wants to be there that much.
Yeah, well, he comes off as, to me anyway, I don't want to... He's never serious. He never looks like he's super serious. But
no, I don't think. That's why I say I don't know if he really cares that much. So, but I know that Pedro. I know Pedro. I talk to Pedro Marino pretty regularly, and because I've been trying to get him out for ECI. I had him locked in for the 185, and he's like, dude, I'm walking around at like 210 pounds.
Oh,
right now.
Jeez.
He's like, there's no way He's like, I think I'm gonna do 205 and heavyweight too from now on too. So I don't think it's a good idea for me to do. But I'm going to put him in the absolute, though. When we do the absolute next after this show, he'll be in the absolute.
Oh, so that's the next plan is going to be way.
It's going to be a big one.
That sounds it's going to be good.
It's going to be.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what the weight classes you had coming up for future events.
The next one will be absolute, and then I think I'm going to start at 135 and work my way up after that. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's tough because there's a lot of repeat competitors through the early weight, especially the lower weight classes, because it's like 35, 45, 55. You're going to have a bunch of people just like in this 45, just like in the 55 that I'm doing, that were in like a previous weight class. The 55 that I'm doing has 1, 2, 3, 4 people in it that were in my 45 tournament, So this is the lineup for my 55-pound tournament. Johnny Grippo, Damian Anderson, Josh Cisneros, Pedro Serrano, John Calistine, Keith Krikorian, and those are the ones that were announced. At least there's one more I'll actually announce on this podcast. And there's obviously the qualifier winner too, the finisher sub only qualifier winner. Well, it's the Emerald City Invitational qualifier, but it's at finisher sub only open, and we team together and do like a joint event, and have the finishers. Have the finishers guys. I mean, they're like the OGs. It's them and EBI. They did it first before everybody. If finishers wasn't around, I would not be doing this show. I'm serious. I never would have done the GGL, knowing you could do this in the gym and film it, and people are cool with it and they love it, and competitors want to do it. I never would have known that. They really paved the way for everybody else outside of EBI, the big show. And then you got to start somewhere. So I started with GGL. That was solely because of finishers. Because they were like, hey, guys, everybody can do this.
So for the people who don't know, fill us in on what you started with Global Grappling League.
Oh, yeah. So like I was saying before, the Global Grappling League was like a local open tournament. And then I started like a pro event, the one that Nikki was on. I started like a pro event, and it ended up being really successful. So I put on a bunch of other pro events after that. And we ended up dropping the open tournament just because a lot of moving parts and a lot of other BS. I just started doing the pro shows myself, and then one day, like after I put a bunch of them on, I mean, dude, I had Thorin on one event, I had Ethan Krellinston on a few events. He's the 155-pound champion, actually, or a couple events I had him on. I had obviously Damien on a couple of the events, a few of the events actually. Nikki. Junie, I'm trying to think now. I'm having a brain fart, but I've had a bunch. I've had like ADCC veterans. I've had like world champions. These guys back in like blue belt, purple belt days and stuff.
So how smooth of a transition do you think that knowledge helped with starting Emerald City?
Oh, it's huge. It was all. If I didn't do that, I wouldn't have been able to do the Emerald City Invitational. There had been a couple of years that had gone by, a few years that had gone by until I did since I had done a Global Grappling League. And I was like, I'd said to Andrea, like, hey, I was like, Andy, like, I want to do another show. I'm going to do another show. I'm going to have to just do it out of one of the local gyms, or maybe I'll do it out of one of the gyms in the affiliation or something like that, or look for a friend's gym to team up with them, kind of a thing. And she was just like, you know what? Screw it. Let's just do like a real show. Why can't we do a show? We were watching like WNO. She's like, why can't we do a show like this? Like, why can't we do something like we can make our own thing just like this? Can't be that hard, And I ended up putting together a really cool event on paper, essentially, right? I talked to some competitors, some high-level competitors, and they all wanted in. And I just shot my shot. I got awesome references from like Jay and Tom and everybody, everybody knew already. I had worked with a bunch of other promotions to set up super fights. Like I worked with Pilgrim for one of their big events. I've worked with I had the Global Grappling League. I had like the Marvin Castell and Nikki Ryan match on it. I put on these great shows. And like
that's quite the match right there,
dude. Yeah, it was awesome. That event was amazing. There's Gordon and everybody, Gary, everybody came up for that. Eddie Bravo flew out for that. Like, it was inside a gym. I've never seen all that. Like, I've never seen that happen inside like a gym show. That was a one of a kind event, and yeah, I did that. And then I was like, I could do this. I could build a bigger show. I could build a big show with the top names, especially with the contacts. I've traveled all around the country. I've competed amongst and trained with the best guys in the world. So I've have the trust and the relationships with all these guys. They all trust me because I'm out there on the mats with them too. There's no other promoter doing that.
That's the other thing I was talking to Sandy about was I feel like your success for Emerald City is partially from having done shows before, but also partially from all the connections you made training at Henzo's.
Oh yeah, for sure. Absolutely. That's a huge part of it. Just like it was a huge part of the growth of my jiu-jitsu and the foundation of my jiu-jitsu game, it also gave me insight to how I wasn't just paying attention to the technique. I probably would have been better if I only paid attention to, but I was paying attention to everything, how they were doing everything, how they were running their classes, how they were marketing to other people, or how they weren't marketing up to other people. You know what I mean? Like all of the little things too, I was paying attention to and trying to learn and soak up. You know, I've been watching for all these years that I've been competing on all these different shows all over, both high level shows on like Flow and stuff and UFC Fight Pass, and then to local shows. I've done them all, and I'll continue to do all of them until I can't anymore physically. I've learned so much, and I got to pick so many things, so many cool things from each of them. You know, so I'm like, I want to do a show and have all these things I love about all these shows out there. I want to put them all together for my own event and do my own thing. And I did it, and I put on a hell of a show. I threw a pitch out to Flow, and ended up scoring a killer deal, which I thought was a killer deal. And then after the first show, they were like, we want to re-sign you. We want to extend this contract, and we're going to double your pay because we want to invest in you. We want to invest in like our time, energy, and money into you so you can help build, because we know you'd be good for us, you know? And I work very closely with them too. I'm very interactive with them. If I ask, or if I say, hey, would you guys rather do this or this? Like I usually do it, you know, I usually do it. You know, I can be a company man if I need to, you know?
Yep.
And I know where it's mutually beneficial too, you know, and it has come back in a lot of really good ways to help me. They give me great coverage, more so than most of the other promotions on there, you know? And like I had Highwell, Teague, and Corey Stockton out at one of the events covering it themselves. Not this last event, but the event before that. You know, I imagine it'll be somewhat like that this one too, or for this one as well. We've had a great run, and I've created a great relationship with Flo, and now I'm about to sign another contract with him after this event, and we'll see where that goes. Nice. You know, we'll see what happens. Hopefully everything's awesome, and the plans that we had set before are still in play, and everything's good with them, and we knock this next show out of the park, and you know, stay with Flo, and they give us, you know, more to work with so we can make this show even bigger. That's the goal.
So before we talk about ECI 4, quick recap on your first 3 shows. You know, what are some of your highlights from your point of view on what made those first 3 shows successful?
The first show, I mean, just doing our first show, like Eddie Bravo was there. Like everyone came out for it, man. Tom was there. Everybody was there for it. It was in a really cool arena. Now CFFC has like an exclusive contract, so nobody else can do grappling events there at that arena. I think they got a little scared, you know. Yeah, they have it locked down now, so I can't use the 2300 arena. But we really liked that place. They had a huge LCD wall or LED wall and stuff, and it looked really legit. People saw how awesome it was, like how like theatrical the show was. You know, it was really cool. You know. And that was unintentional on my part. The arena just ended up being awesome. Yeah. You know, the venue just ended up being awesome. So what I pulled from that one is production, the show, all the pizzazz, right? It does count for something. Yep. It really does. PJ, the way he ran through the whole tournament was beautiful. Luis Quinones making his breakthrough on that show, choking Frankie out when Frankie was he was hot at the time too. That was pretty wild. Frankie's a very good friend of mine. Luis is a friend of mine as well. It's cool. It's just cool to see an underdog win, you know. Yeah. At the same time, Frankie's my boy. It was hard to watch, you know. But you know, just watching people's careers like blossom and form on my show, that's the coolest part of doing it, you know. A second show.
That was 170, correct?
Yeah, that was 170. And PJ is the champ of 170. A second show, 145. I had Kennedy Messiah in it, which is insanity to me. To get him to do those shows is like impossible. So the fact that he came out and did my event was like to say an honor is like an understatement, you know. Kennedy Messiah, I had Damian Anderson, Gabriel Souza, Keith Krikorian. It was a 16-man. It was just loaded with talent. Esteban Martinez.
Gianni was in that
Gianni,
one too.
Grippo, yeah. Like, it was just loaded with talent. And Frankie Rowe was in that too. I was in Luis was in it again. Luis Quinones was on the opposite side. It was awesome. It was a really good time. But Gianni ended up taking that in the end, beat Kennedy Messiah in the finals. It's wild, absolutely wild.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Yeah. The show didn't go as planned. The production took forever. All the matches, like time in between matches, took too long. It was just a wreck. It was like a 7-hour show. Way too long.
I'm not gonna lie, I sat down and watched the whole thing start to finish
That's
live.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And some people said that to me too. They're like, it's more matches, whatever. You know, I had bathroom break time in between matches. It's all good, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gianni won that handily, like overtime. Everybody, subbed. He subbed his first opponent, Ellis, with a murderous heel hook.
I was gonna say that was a highlight and cause for
Ellis.
contention with some people about repping it.
Yeah, it was silly, but it got stomped out real quick.
Yeah.
You know, Ellis was a really good sport about it too. They were making a way bigger deal than he was about it. So, but Gianni beat Damian Anderson in EBI overtime, a rule set that Damian likes really, really good at.
Damian had a brutal Kimura in that previous
Richard
match
Alarcon.
too.
Yeah, he had kind of a breakthrough on my event as well. Yep. He subbed Richard Alarcon and then subbed Gabriel Souza, got himself in the rankings, and like really made a name for himself amongst the top guys. You know, The way he handled Richard Alarcon was really impressive because Richard is tough as hell. Red is tough as hell. He's really, really, really tough guy. Then Gabriel Souza, who's one of the best on the planet, he just subbed Mikey Musumeci.
Yeah.
He just north-south choked him at WNO, which I'm looking at these events. I don't know if that's up for submission of the year, but it damn well should be.
It may be.
It should be because it was the craziest upset that I've seen. Or I mean, I kind of saw it coming. Like I knew it was going to be a really hard match for Mikey. I didn't think that. I had my money on Gabriel Souza. I did not have my money on Emerald City Invitational too. Este versus Cam. Match of the year contender.
That was an incredible match too.
Yeah. That was one of the best matches I've ever seen. It's probably my favorite match of all time. That and Gary and Kron. Those are my favorite matches. Yeah. But yeah, Emerald City Invitational is 4 is in like full effect. We have a killer lineup, and Gabriel Souza is the last competitor that's going to be in the bracket.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, so we have
incredible
a handful of the guys in the tournament that were in the last one as well, and it's exciting to see maybe some of the rematches and stuff too. You know, some of the matches that I thought were going to happen that didn't happen.
I'm looking at the graphic here with all the guys. It's just like you can't even come close to picking who might win that bracket.
Yeah,
it's
dude,
so
it's awesome.
even.
That's my favorite.
Yeah,
that's how I want all my shows to be.
Yeah,
when people are like, "Oh, who's your favorite?" I have no idea, dude.
Yeah,
because anytime you say, "Oh, but this person's gonna win," there's like the rule set too matters. Guys like Keith Krikorian, he could beat anyone in this rule set.
Yep.
Damian too. Damian is so well versed in EBI overtime rounds. Like Gianni Grippo obviously is amazing. He ran through our first tournament.
I had Kennedy winning that first tournament, by the way.
Yeah, I called Kennedy as well, and Andy called Gianni. I called Kennedy, but I had a really strong feeling that Gianni was like, I don't know. I had a feeling that Gianni was gonna do something with that too.
I like him a lot.
And that's completely pulling myself away from all personal relationships with the guys in it, right? Which is a tough thing to do, but
right, especially if you've trained a significant amount with Damian.
Yeah, and a handful of the guys in there actually. Cam, Frankie, Damian, like a lot of the guys I know on a close personal level. So, Calistine is always telling you, people just haven't seen him lately or in a while, but when he's on and he's healthy, he is a killer. He could beat anybody in the entire world at 155 and under. Anybody in the whole world. He's shown that already. He's better than he's ever been. He just needs to stay healthy.
So this event's back at the Showboat.
Yes.
Just like the second.
Very excited about that.
Nice.
Very excited about that. It's at the Showboat again. My ticket sales are up. EmeraldCityInvitational.com has the link. And I'm working on the site to update some stuff on that to make it a little bit more accessible too. But we'll be regularly posting it like every single day.
Nice.
As usual.
Do you have any other matches lined up as far as outside of the bracket that you can talk about yet, or no?
I am. I'm actually haven't locked in any official matches for the or super fights for the card. I'm trying to make Esteban Martinez versus Luis Quinones. That match would be
would be fireworks.
Yeah. I want to have Esteban on like every single show.
Esteban versus anyone is going to be fireworks.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I want. I want to have him on like every single show because people just love the guy, you know. And I love watching him too. Regardless, I'm probably going to compete against him 6 times, you know, before we're both done. But
your match against him was fireworks too.
So
a few weeks back.
I totally like shit the bed 7 minutes in. I'm not gonna lie. That's what he does to people. He puts on this pace that's really hard to keep up, and my cardio wasn't the best at the time, so it was a bad game planning on my part. It was totally against the game plan that we had in place, but yeah.
Well, it's not like you can slow him down. He seems like he's impossible to slow down.
Yeah, well, that's the goal though. That's what you need to do. You know, you have to slow down his lateral movement. You have to. There's a way. There's definitely clear ways to beat him. You know, you watch Keith's match with him or Cole's match with him, and
Keith looked significantly bigger than him, though.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean, I'm sorry, Keith's first match with him. Keith's match with him the second time, that was still a really good match, man. Like, Keith didn't look like he performed to his normal potential in that 145-pound tourney. He was just coming back from a long layoff due to injury. It was just like it wasn't his first show back. He did like a practice trial.
He looked a little tentative, though. I do remember thinking that when I was watching it.
Yeah. And I know in the lead up, he was very anxious to get back to competition and stuff too. So, you know, that can do a lot of mental stuff to people as well. But I think that Keith is always a serious threat to the division too. But yeah, I don't have any super fights made up yet. I have some in the works. Some in the works right now. Meg from your school and Haley from your school. I'm gonna have them both on for sure. 100% have a match up for them. So for all you Flow people, buy your tickets, come down to the show, man.
That's right.
It's a good day trip. It's a lot of fun. So. Well, maybe not a single day trip, but the rooms are dirt cheap at the Showboat. We have an awesome deal with them, so you're going to be able to get your room at an extremely affordable price.
They all came down for ECI 2, which I wasn't able to come to.
So it'll be in the same room.
So
it'll be in the same room.
That's nice.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. This one's going to be much better, though. We've worked out the kinks a little bit more. So
well, everything from a. I look at this from a spectator standpoint. I know, obviously, behind the scenes, you have a million moving parts that you're concerned about. But from a spectator standpoint, it looks phenomenal. The show looks great, and
it's good to hear.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this next one, man. We're really going to go hard with this next one, both on production and on the talent in it. Obviously, as you know, now you know the lineup for the tournament. I'm trying to think, and I can't think of a more stacked 8-man 155-pound tournament. I mean, WNO. There's a couple people out of the weight class that made their way in. You know, these people are all pretty much just 155ers. A few of them, like I said, they were in my 145-pound tournament, but they're cutting hard to get to 145, man.
Yeah.
You know, smallest guy in this is Calstein, who sits a few pounds above 45. He's close to 150. You know, Pedro Serrano's another small guy, but this is going to be a hell of a show. This will be a really, really, really good event.
Based on talking about the third show, that was 185, correct?
Yes.
And there was
that was the last one. I actually didn't even mention it, and that makes sense. There were some great matches in that, and there was some awesome talent in it, but that one really fell apart. We had a UFC fighter, current UFC killer in it, Andre Petrosky from Daniel Gracie. He was awesome. He came out to the show and competed. It looked really good against Sean Yadamarco. Lost first round against Sean, but still looked good against him. Sean looked great. Sean looked really good.
He really did.
Yeah. We had Giancarlo Bodoni, who is an absolute stud. He's under Gordon now and seems to be doing some pretty amazing things.
He must have cut a large amount of weight to get to. He looked huge.
I thought that too, but he didn't. He didn't. He sits right around 185 right now.
Really?
He wasn't very far from it. Yeah, I talked to him about it. They have him ranked at 205, but I think he should probably be in the 185 pound rankings because that's probably where you're going to see him from now on. Taza was ridiculous. Taza looked amazing. Nick Ronan looked amazing too. He tapped Giancarlo.
He did.
It was outstanding with an outstanding heel hook. It was. I called Giancarlo and Taza in the finals.
Me too.
And Ronan looked on fire. He beat Josh Hayden, which was crazy. You know, Josh is an experienced guy in EBI. Even regardless of his layoff, he's still a murderer. Yep. I think I'm really excited because we're going to see him back on the scene these next couple of years. He's doing West Coast trials too. Yeah,
we did a recap show and a month or so ago, right after the event, and Nick Ronan it's not. I don't want to say he just looks so tough. Like he never stops coming at you.
Yeah. Ronan's like that. He's really good. He got caught on my Emerald City show, the 170 pound tournament, but by Aaron Wilson. But it's not like he wasn't the favorite for that match. Aaron's awesome. Don't get me wrong. Aaron's a very talented guy, very talented grappler. He's been on some awesome shows since then. I'm gonna have him back for sure. He got caught in a knee bar that no one saw that coming, dude. It was so nice. Yeah. But Ronan, he's not a guy that's very easy to put down. You know, that's why that was such a big deal. You know? And I thought Josh Hayden had him. Leg locked at some point. Yeah.
It looked like he had it.
Nick's very good at the legs too. That's why, like I said, I was really surprised about the whole Josh Hayden thing. Nick beating Josh, Aaron Wilson thing. Aaron beating Nick by knee bar because Nick is very, very, very well versed in the legs. So, but yeah, and then you got to see that in his match with Josh Hayden. You know, Josh is a murderer in the legs. That's like what he's known for. Yep. He does a lot very well, but his leg work is outstanding, you know. And Nick navigated through that very well, you know, even when he was in danger. So,
all that being said, on that particular night, Taza looked like he was on another level compared to everybody else.
Yeah, Taza is on another level, man. He's very talented.
Especially his first 2 rounds or first 3 rounds even. Yeah. He just tore through everybody.
Yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to making the PJ versus Taza match happen again. They've fought each other in the past and stuff, but I think they're both in different places right now too. Yep. I think that match would be a lot of fun in the next year or so.
The other person who may not have made it to the final but looked phenomenal is Alan Sanchez.
Oh, he's incredible. He's ranked for a reason too, man. He's been like a guy that's just been like on the cusp of rankings and on the cusp of the big conversations, and for a long time now. And I mean, he won Worlds. Like I said, he won IBJJF Worlds. He's won so many different like sub-only tournaments. And that's cool to know too. He's won like every other sub-only tournament outside of like the top ones. It lets me know I'm one of the top ones too. Right. Because he comes in and he loses second round. If you have Alan Sanchez losing second round in your tournament, then you know you have good talent in it because he is as good as he's pretty close to as good as it gets, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, especially in that rule set, he's a monster in that rule set. So
awesome. So just a quick recap because we've got a seminar to get to.
Yes, sir.
March 12th, correct?
Yes, March 12th, 5 o'clock. Doors open at 4:30. You can get your tickets at www.emeraldcityinvitational.com. It's at the Showboat Arena in New Jersey, in Atlantic City.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on the podcast. We'll do this again very soon.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Go follow Emerald City Invitational and follow Emerald City Jiu Jitsu and watch Central New York's newest and first serious, like real serious competition-oriented jiu-jitsu school, Flourish, and watch us make something great happen in Syracuse. We don't have a lot for jiu-jitsu, so I think that we're going to do some pretty big things in our area. So
I have no doubt, man. Yeah. I have no doubt.
I appreciate the vote of confidence for sure.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you again soon. Remember, you don't need to move fast. You simply need to move forward. Life presents all of us different obstacles. It's easy to give up. However, get up, smile, and put one foot in front of the other. Everything works out. I promise you. Tom Deblass.